Do the kids clean the toilets at Acton? Yes, they do. Okay, that's only partly true. Sometimes the heroes clean the toilets, uh, but it is true that they are the solely responsible for the regular maintenance of their studio. And we call it studio maintenance. It happens in every studio, usually at the end of the day. Sometimes the next day there's some maintenance to be done in the mornings, but these jobs include sweeping the floor, vacuuming the rugs, wiping the tables, um, straightening the bookshelves, sometimes wiping walls. There is bathroom maintenance, which sometimes they don't usually clean the toilets. We do have a professional cleaning service that comes in to help with some of the deeper maintenance. But the point being, when Acton was first created, at least as far back as I'm aware, studio maintenance is a vital part of an Acton studio. And having stewardship over an area helps you respect it more. I shouldn't just say having stewardship. I shouldn't say just having stewardship, but being a steward over an area, having things that we need to do to care and maintain an area helps us to appreciate it. So, at the very core level, studio maintenance helps infuse a sacredness and a love of learning for the heroes and for their studio. Now, if I were to say it's perfect or that the heroes love to clean every day, that would just not be a realistic picture. It is consistently one of the hardest things that we work with because we've, invested money and a lot of time into providing nice facilities for the heroes. And so when they're in charge of it, we have this fine balance of trusting them to own and maintain their area, giving them stewardship so that they do own and feel ownership over their studio and the things in the studio and their learning environment and their learning materials. And also being like, and we have a standard that must be maintained. So it's kind of an ebb and flow, and we're always sort of in a balance with it. But overall, it's one of the things that we hear reports from new parents often, that their child no longer throws a fit when they come home to do their jobs, or they're actually offering to help because it isn't so dreaded. They usually, for studio maintenance, they turn on the music and they do their jobs and they get checked off, and it doesn't always go that way. Usually there's music, even if jobs don't get checked off. But this underlying foundation that hard work and maintenance is a part of life. Maintaining our spaces, maintaining our health. It's just something that we do. And to have learners grow up in a space where they aren't responsible for helping to maintain it, I think is a disservice to them, because it doesn't help them, first of all, appreciate what goes into having a space to learn in. And I don't just mean at Acton, I mean it at any school, but it also undermines their ability and opportunity to care for something. And I think fosters a lot of entitlement. Now, that's not to say that we don't see entitlement. In fact, in studio maintenance is one of the areas that we often can observe entitlement in our heroes when they aren't caring for their space. And sometimes they'll say, well, this is our space and we don't care if it's messy. And they're right, it is their space, and there's a standard and an opportunity for them to inhabit the space. It is actually on loan from someone else who has greater stewardship over it because it was invested in by us. Anyway, that's more than they really need to know. But studio maintenance helps to curb entitlement. It helps to build stewardship and real world skills that they actually need to maintain their own homes and their own businesses someday. So, yes, sometimes they clean the toilets. Sometimes they use random wrong cleaners in the wrong places. And sometimes there's more mud than cleanup during the cleanup. But it's all worth it, because in the end, it's about so much more than having a tidy space. It's about the skills and the development of heroes, full whole child development that is built in, baked into the space at Acton so that your child can reap all of those benefits. And hopefully you can too, and you can expect them to help a little bit more at home.